What's going on, good people? Adrian Homeboy Holmes here to welcome you to the new season of Super Gamer Book Club. New season? Where's the old season, I hear you say? Well, you can find all the episodes of the old season from our original book club host Zech on our Patreon. And you can also find the newest episodes of season 2 with host me, ding, on Patreon as well. Me, Garrett, and a special guest every month choose a game and we go over it and talk about it in a shorter, more informal kind of setting. It's almost like we're just hanging out and telling what we liked about the game, what we didn't like about the game, so on and so forth. So we decided this is too cool to sit behind Patreon for all of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some of the older episodes and put them out on this free podcast feed for you guys. And if you want to check out the new episodes of stuff that we're doing, you can go and subscribe to our Patreon for only $1 and you get the brand new book club episodes when they come out. That's all I got for right now. I hope you enjoy the episode and I hope you come to see what we have on Patreon. Take it easy and enjoy the show. What's going on, folks? Here we are. Finally, the first episode of Super Gamer Book Club. Yeah. I've been waiting on this a hot minute, and it's finally here.
Yes.
I am your host with the most, Adrian the Homeboy Holmes.
Yes.
And I am joined by my right-hand man, our fearless Super Gamer leader, Garrett Morlang. How you doing tonight, good sir?
Doing very well, very well. And let me tell you, I miss the feeling of just being a guest. It's really nice just to be here and you're steering the ship and, I got full faith in you. So don't screw this up. That's all I got to say.
Don't you worry. I got you. And of course, we've been hyping this guest up since we were able to somehow get her to say yes. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest for the first ever episode of Super Gamer Book Club, Steph Babies herself.
Hi. Oh my
Ladies and gentlemen,
welcome.
This super accomplished streamer right here has a dedicated following, has her own Twitch channel, and is half of Normcore Gaming. Mm-hmm. If you don't know, now you know, and you have no excuse not to go and check their stuff out any longer.
They're way more big time than us. So yeah, go follow them.
Thank you so much. I didn't know I was like the first official guest. So thank you so much for having me. How exciting.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
I was like, I asked Garrett before I asked you guys, I was like, what do you think they'll say? And he was like, well, you might as well try to shoot your shot, see what happens. Here we are.
Here we are. Glad you did.
Yeah. Oh man, this is exciting. Okay, so if you guys did or did not do your homework, the game that we're going to talk about tonight is the one, the only, the Toby Fox original, Undertale.
Dun, dun.
Now, if you don't know, Undertale is an independent venture headed up by Toby Fox himself. Mm-hmm. It came out in 2000. They're going to crucify me because I want to say 15. Ooh. If my shirt, 15 or 16. If my shirt. Right. Yeah, I want to say. And it first came out on PC. Mm-hmm. It has since expanded to pretty much everything. Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, even Vita. So you have your options to go and play it wherever you can. It is kind of hard to put this game in a box, honestly. I mean, you can call it an RPG because it has elements of one, but it's so subversive from your normal role-playing game. It almost kind of rejects that classification. It's just like I'm my own game. That's at least what I take away from it. Before I let the guests have at it, I am probably the old salty vet for this title. I've played it numerous times on many different platforms. I've pretty much gone to all the nooks and crannies, so I kind of know what to expect. Have not on my own done a genocide run though. Don't have the heart to do it. Can't do it.
Oh, okay.
I know what happens, but I can't bring myself to do it, man. Those are my good friends. Those are my family. Can't do it to them.
Yeah.
But Steph, you just recently completed the game on stream.
Yes. Yesterday.
I got to watch bits and pieces. I saw that there were some laughs had, some tears shed.
Oh yeah.
For your first time through. What did you think?
I loved it. Oh my goodness. And you're totally right. I was saying constantly throughout playing it how it's not my kind of game. I'm not a big RPG person, but it doesn't feel like I'm playing an RPG. It's just so story driven and it's so interesting and it's unlike anything I've ever played. I am playing, as you know, Final Fantasy VII at night, at the same time I'm playing this game, and it's so different. It's just so wildly different from any other RPG. I adored it. I did the pacifist run. I don't think I could do a genocide run. Like maybe some of the characters I could kill, but like I think about Papyrus and I just can't. I can't, especially having seen the whole story now. I'm like, oh yeah, no way. I'm not killing these people.
Right.
they're my family and my friends, and we go on and have life together. So, oh my gosh, though, I felt all the emotions. It was incredible. I highly recommend it if you're listening to this, watching this, you haven't played it, and you somehow found your way here. Definitely play it. You won't be disappointed.
That does my heart good to hear that, because this is one of my and I know it's cliche on the internet to say nowadays, but like this is one of my all-time favorite games, dude. This game, I would, if somebody was like, how do you make what is a masterclass in making characters actually feel like your friends? You know what I mean? Like people you can actually know, or people that actually feel like your circle, your group. Like this is such a well-written cast of characters, and they feel like people. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah.
And that combined with like you can feel like how much of an earnest effort this game is, and it just has so much heart, and that definitely speaks to me. It spoke to me the first time I played it. I couldn't believe it at the end how attached I got to this cast. Yeah, I love it. I love it so much. Mr. Morlang, I saw a little message in Steph's chat that you it ended up getting you in the end.
Yeah, man. This game, when I first started it, I was like, what the heck is this? Like, and I think I told you back when I first started how for years and years and years, like I've heard about this game and I've heard all this random stuff, and I thought I knew about different mechanics and different things. Like you hear so much and everyone just raves about it, how best game ever, masterpiece, gotta play it, best indie game, whatever, best game ever, whatever. It's incredible, like the hype that this game has around it. And I thought I had it figured out. And then I start playing it. I'm like, this game is nothing like I anticipated. Like the picture I had in my head was nothing like what I actually played. And so I was really kind of not super excited at the beginning. I'm going to be honest. I played for a while. I'm like, oh, this is going to be rough. I know it's a short game though. Like Adrian told me, it's, under 10 hours, you can get it done. I'm like, okay, just got to get through it. Just got to work through this. But as you start, meeting these characters and getting to know them, and I think that's what he nailed. I forget his name. Toby. No, Toby. Yeah. What he just nails on the head there is the way he writes these characters. They're not the cliche video gamey bad guys, or even like hype super friendly. Like it's not like there's like there's certain types that are cast normally for these types of characters in games, and he's just like, no, I'm gonna give them super exaggerated goofy personalities, but that's also very relatable in different ways, if that makes sense. And so every character you run into, you're like, Oh yeah, I have the buddy who's like the jokester and always doing the funny like stupid puns. I have the buddy who's just like over ambitious, but really is kind of got his head in clouds, not really paying attention to stuff. I got that one buddy who's just like a little over aggressive, and things and gung ho about everything. Like everyone is just like an exaggerated form of a friend you have, and so you can relate to them so well. Be like, oh yeah, no, I love these people. Like these are great. Like these are all friends I have. And then when you get to the end and boy, what a roller coaster the end is. It's just like,
Oh
is it
my
over?
word.
Is it over now? Is it over now? And every time it ends, it's like it seems like it's getting worse and worse and worse. You're like, no, why? No, no. And then it like seems to get better, and then it kind of takes a turn, and then it gets better. Oh man, that
Yeah.
end though, when they're over looking at like they're up on the crest of the mountain looking over this valley, sunset in the background. Like I said in the chat, like
Is that the
that got
part that
me.
got
Like
you?
just seeing well, it was a little before that is like when it first started. Like I think they're all just kind of they give like little speeches there at the end. It's like, oh, like we've got your back, and it's
Mhm.
being super supportive, and it's like, yeah, we're
Mm-hmm.
so happy that we've, uh, yeah, you're our friend, and we will support you, and I can't wait to see this new world with you. I'm like, oh man, like this is getting me. And then yeah,
Yeah.
then that moment, looking over the sunset, and everyone's just standing there and just like sharing this moment together. I'm like, geez, like this is a stupid game. Like, are you kidding me right now? Like, yeah, I wish I could hang out with a
Dumb
best
game
friend.
making me care
Yeah,
about
making me
things.
care about these things. Like, I wish I had best friends that I could go, do this with at the moment. With COVID, it's a little hard right now. But yeah, it just made me it made me just remember the good times I had with friends like that, and also just like yearn for like those moments now where like even as an adult now, like all my childhood friends, like we live all over the place, all over the world, and yeah, it's just an awesome game about friendship. And man, it makes you feel it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you two more. I was just saying, it's a phenomenal game. Do you guys have any moments that stood out to you? I know, Garrett, you were talking about the ending. Steph, is there anything that like, oh man, I'm always like when I think about Undertale, I'm gonna think about this moment, or I'm gonna think about this
Yeah.
character or this, experience.
Yeah. So my like the moment that I keep thinking about and like that probably got me the most because I cried at two different points in this game. But it's when you finish fighting Metaton and you kind of go on your way and you go to I think it's new home technically. Basically, you're going to your house again, and
Mhm.
the like Undertale the song is playing, and that song is freaking emotional, so good. And you're just going through the house and you recognize it, and you're kind of starting to see that a family lived here while this music is playing. And then I don't know why, but I got to the mirror and you look at it
Yep.
at the beginning.
Yep.
At the beginning of the game.
I know
At the
exactly where you're
Beginning of the
going.
game, it says it's
Yeah.
you, and then you get to it again, like after everything, and it just says, "Despite everything, it's still you." And it was so much. It was too much. I couldn't handle it. I'm like, I need that tattooed. I need that everywhere.
Even right now,
that's
even
the
right now, I'm
moment.
getting goosebumps just when you
Yeah,
said that.
it's
It's
just-
got-
oh my
like,
gosh.
man.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the moment for me for sure.
Mm.
That was definitely a good one. I think for me, oh boy, it's feels like you have to pick a card out of a deck with different moments that were just so well done. I think one that really stuck out for me was probably near the beginning, when Sans pulls you aside, when Papyrus is setting up traps to catch the human, and he's like, "Hey, thanks for humoring my brother. This is his dream. This is really what he wants to do, and you and I know that these traps don't work, but at least you're playing along and you're doing something good for him." And that kind of touched me because it's like, hey, Sans plays this cool guy character, but he really does care about his brother
Yeah.
a whole lot. And that is a really good indicator to his character without even you knowing him that well. That was definitely a standout for me. Metaton doing the stage play
Oh my
with singing that
gosh.
song. That was a standout. Definitely. I'm never gonna forget that the first time that happened. And then when you get to the Flowey fight in the end, if you play it on PC, the part where like he shuts the game down and kind of makes it reset like that on PC, it closes the game.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was just like, did my game just crash? Like, what's going on? Like, it freaked me out for a second. I was like, I guess. So I turn it back on, and yeah, when it boots up, and it's just like this dialogue happening. It's like, oh no, like the game shut itself down. Like Flowey shut my game down, and he's controlling. Like he's in my computer. I almost want like now that I'm done with the game, I might need to get a new computer. Like I feel like I can't trust my machine anymore. Like Flowey's in my computer. He's always with me. I don't know if I like this. It's a little weird.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, everything with Flowey was just so like right from the beginning. You meet this innocent looking flower and you're like, oh, this is cute, this is nice, and very quickly it's just like, no, this is like a demon flower. Like what the heck is going on? You're like, that right from the beginning, this game is just like crazy. This off the walls, completely subverting like every expectation you could possibly have about it. Like you expect, oh, okay, this is going to be a fun cutesy little like monster story, but it's going to be fun. All the characters look so cute and nice, and then the face, that one face, that face will be ingrained in my mind forever. Like the Flowey
idiot,
the Flowey face, but like when he that face, and then also like whenever he has like the demon eyes and the big sharp teeth showing, I'm gonna see that in my nightmares. I'm just gonna always see that for the rest of my life. I hate it so much.
Oh my God.
We're singing praises. We can't praise it enough, but no game is perfect. We know this. What irked you guys? What do you think could have been done better? What did you flat out dislike? Was there anything that you disliked at all?
I don't know, honestly. There's nothing that stands out to me. Like, oh, I hated this. I also felt like it was a little slow to get into for me initially, but I think that it's just that first like snowed in and then getting past that, like it picks up pretty quickly. I don't think that it was anything to where I'm like, oh, this just really set the game back. That was just like a personal preference thing. I really don't know what I would change, which is crazy to say.
For me, I don't know. I just thought, and again, maybe it's because it's not the point of the game, but the whole combat system and inventory system and all that stuff obviously is like kind of weird to use and just it's weird to do, like the combat system, like the weird way the menus were set up and stuff like that, and even like the inventory system, the way the controls work. So it's very my argument or my issue with the game was very just like focused and really stupid, really, because again, like the whole point of the game is like, oh, don't kill people, and you don't really, for the most part, don't really need many items, just like some health stuff once in a while. But it was frustrating when, like, I don't know, so many times, again, this is a gameplay thing, not necessarily a game thing, but just the gameplay, how it feels. I kept hitting the wrong button, like wrong keys on the keyboard. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, come on, I just want to open this stupid menu, or I just want to get to this one item. Let me use this item. And I kept accidentally hitting info instead of use or something. As it's like, like that was probably my biggest frustration, which if that's it, like, that's awesome. Like this game, like it was just like, it was more like a very physical, tactile gameplay control type thing where I was just like, this is annoying, at least on mouse and keyboard, or just keyboard. It didn't use mouse, but yeah, on keyboard, I'm like, this is so freaking annoying. I'm about ready to snap my keyboard over my knee or something a couple times. But other than that, and like the way, like, the combat menus were laid out. In the end fight, I did accidentally like attack. Okay, so and I get, we're obviously doing spoilers and stuff. Like, it caused it just kept jumping around the menus all weird, and there were a few times I actually attacked the souls of my friends when I was supposed to be, acting and freeing them from Flowey. Flowey has them, or Azrael has them,
right?
And you're trying to like do these things so they remember you, and they're like, oh, yeah, you're my friend. I'm not going to attack you anymore. But I kept hitting attack. I'm like, no, I don't want to hit him with a sword or whatever. Like, are you kidding me? Like, so there's a couple, like, I did a true pacifist run, but I definitely whacked a few people with a sword on accident because the stupid combat menu, the way it works. I'm like, dang it.
Whacking is fine. They
didn't mean
give
to do
you
that.
a free couple of whacks, but if you kill somebody, that's when you don't get to come back.
So stressed out while playing this because I knew I wanted to do the pacifist route. And I was just so afraid everything, like I was so in my head about it. Like, am I accidentally going to ruin it if I do this, or if I accidentally don't do this? Like, what's gonna ruin it? Which it ended up being fine. Apparently, Garrett whacked them and was fine, but
everything turned out fine.
Yeah,
they still
initially,
liked me.
Initially I was thinking, man, I'm gonna mess this up, and the game's going to remember. It was stressful for a while.
Yeah,
right on.
There's definitely a huge weight. Like, once you catch on, like, oh, this game is reacting to me, and it's remembering everything I do. Once you got kind of clicks, like, it adds such a weight and a fear. Yeah, 100%. Like, where I now don't want to do the wrong thing, and I'm like,
yeah.
Every decision is so heavy.
Yeah.
Like at the end when you find out your LV was not love points, it was level of violence.
Yeah. Or experience was actually execution points, not
dude.
experience.
I remember seeing that for the first time and being like, oh my God. Because I did the neutral one the first time. I had no idea what to expect. So I was like, if these guys are going to kill me, I got to kill them so I can get out of here. Didn't realize what I was doing. And then Sans was like, yeah, you killed somebody. You may have to go back and do this again. Yeah. No, he tells you that. He's like, you could have not killed them. So that's what makes you have to go back and do the pacifist all over again.
Dang.
That was like the big reveal is like, I really wasn't supposed to kill anybody.
I really messed up.
Right. It's like, now I feel terrible.
Oh man.
I was just gonna say, do you, like, in your opinion, homeboy, because you've played it, I guess, the most, obviously there's different ways you could play it, and that's the argument people say as well. Like, they put it in the game, you could play it this way. I personally feel like just because you could doesn't mean you should, and I feel like the pacifist way is the way you're supposed to play, if that makes sense.
I appreciate that genocide is an option. I don't think it was ever intended for you to do the genocide run. That's my opinion. Because there's nothing, you don't gain anything from doing that. Yeah. In my opinion.
Other than a huge part of the story. So afterwards I went through and started watching some timeline videos, and I realized, like, there's a huge chunk of the story that I completely missed out on. Like, there was characters they talked about. I had no idea what they were talking about. And I don't know if I just missed it when I was playing the game, or if you only get it through doing the genocide run or something. But like Kara, like, I had no idea about Kara. Like, what did they even talk about Kara in the past? I don't remember Kara at all on the pacifist run. But that's the main character, and you find out that Kara is whatever their son or their child. Yeah. And you're Frisk. You're not the one in the intro video. The intro video is actually Kara. I don't know, all this stuff. And I was like, how did I miss all? Like,
it's weird because, it's your name. So, like, when you do it the pacifist way, like, Kara, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, homeboy, but is Steph. And they tell you, like, I know you're not Steph because Steph's dead. And I think that's Kara. Isn't that Kara? Because I think I read that Kara, character, has the red heart, like Frisk. Kara
is you. Yeah. Right? And then Frisk is Frisk. And that's why you're absolutely right, because that's why Azrael is like, I know you're not your name.
You're my name. I'm like, I'm not me. Right. But then you see your coffin, and so you kind of know that you're dead. In a way.
That's because they were brothers, Garrett.
Right.
So that's, or I guess siblings, because we don't know. They never really defined.
They
the
Azrael
of the child. But yeah, you guys were siblings, so that's why it hits so much harder in the end when you realize what actually is going on with Azrael and you.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, I definitely picked up on that. But yeah, even at the end of the genocide run, like some of those timelines I was watching, like, you're showing gameplay clips, and like they actually show Kara, and like Kara like comes to you and talks to you and stuff. And so,
Yeah.
circling back to what you were talking about with, don't even know
Mhm.
why. Like, yeah, I understand why it's there, but no one should ever play it. Like, I don't know. I feel like it shows more care. Like, it actually shows Kara.
Mhm.
You actually interact with Kara, or at
I
least
mean,
Kara's soul, which again is Flowey, which is Azrael, which is all the same.
right. And
It's a little
that's the
confusing.
thing is like, it's if you're like a hardcore lore nerd, you can definitely get into this stuff. But in the overarching picture, it doesn't really matter to the entirety of the story because they kind of hint at it enough. I feel like in the pacifist run that
Yeah.
you can kind of infer, oh, I must just be some kid, and that must actually be, I'm not their son. I'm just a what is that word? For the other word for surrogate. I'm their surrogate kid.
Yeah. Interesting.
I don't know. I guess maybe that's just a me thing. I feel like while there is bits of lore, I don't know if there's enough to warrant the emotional borderline abuse that you have to go through to play the genocide run.
Yeah.
Plus, I think what is that's not Alphys's like secret lab, right? That's the Royal Laboratory that you go to, where they do that big lore dump about the souls and how they were trying to find a way to strengthen the body.
Yeah.
I think that was enough of a lore dump to explain what was going on too. That you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Yeah,
man, those
yeah.
that whole section there was so dark. Like, the game just takes such a turn. Like, I mean, it gets dark at the end with Flowey anyways, and then it kind of goes to what they call the true ending or whatever, where you like, or the true lab. You go to the lab and kind of interacting with stuff, and then get some more of like the this darker side even further of what's going on. It's like, oh man, this story is like heavy. I don't know. It's one of those things.
Super heavy.
I went in thinking this is gonna be such a lighthearted game. I'm like, like, I don't know about this, Adrian. I don't know about this.
And that's another thing, man. They made the characters have baggage. Like Asgore and Alphys, they got some demons, man. They got some stuff that they have to answer for at the end of the day. And that is just another aspect of creating 3-dimensional characters who just happen to be 2D. But to answer your question, Steph, whenever I hear about somebody that wants to play for the first time, the only advice that I ever give them is I say, go in as blind as possible. Experience it from top to bottom, because I feel like you're supposed to make that mistake of killing someone or killing a character so that the game can do its big twist and be like, actually, you shouldn't have killed that person, because now you don't get the good ending, and you have to do it again. And the story is different enough that it feels like you're playing not a totally different game, but enough to keep you going that is different. So that would be the one piece of advice that I always give to anybody who, when I get the great news that they're finally going to do it, would be, going blind.
Yeah. I would
Did
agree
you
with
know
that.
Did you know anything when you first went in, Steph? Anything about it? Or
I did. So this was not the first time I attempted to play it. It was the first time I finished many years ago. I want to say pretty close to when it came out. So my younger brother, this is one of his favorite games. And he had told me about like the different runs and stuff. And so we had tried to play it. And I only got to the core, which at that point I was like, man, I'm so close to the end. So much game, so much game left. But I had gone into it knowing about the different runs, and I knew, like, I was trying to do a pacifist run, and I never finished. So I already, going into this, my first full playthrough, I already knew about the different ones. I wish I hadn't, but I'm glad I did for the sake of the time crunch of coming onto this podcast, because I really went down to the last possible minute there. So I'm glad I knew, but I think that I would also recommend to someone, it's too late for anyone that's listening now, but I've been recommending to people how to play it if they're asking about it. Just don't look anything up. Don't ask anyone about it. Just play it and see what happens.
Just sit down, play it, and come back and talk to me when you're done.
You're going to feel things.
Yeah. And I'll have a box of tissues for you when you get done because you're going to need them. What about you, Garrett? Did you, I remember you were saying you heard some things, you thought you had an idea. I don't know. Did it?
Yeah. So for me, I mean,
were you right about anything? I mean,
trying to think. I honestly, I already knew that there was different ways to play it. I didn't understand the extent that it went, where there's actually, you know, as far as like a true pacifist, the neutral, the genocide. Like, I didn't know what the categories necessarily were. I knew there was different paths, and depending on how you played it, changes things. And so I guess with my gamer instinct, you know, at the beginning, once I realized like, oh, there's a mercy option, like, okay, like let's just test this out. I'm just curious. And after I did the first few times, I almost honestly liked it better, as well as a time thing. You know, I didn't take time to like fight this monster. I could just like kind of basically flee, but without, you know, like hitting the flee button. And I got gold from it. It was great.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I think for the first little bit, I was like, why am I not getting experience? And then at the end, when Sens tells you like what that stands for, I'm like, glad I didn't have any experience.
Glad, yeah. Thank goodness. And
yeah, but other than that, I don't think I really knew. I mean, I knew of the character Sans, honestly. I think that's all I knew about it, because everyone talks about like that's I feel like
now you see why.
Yeah, I feel like that's just everyone's favorite character. So I thought I knew so much about him, and I played this game like I didn't know anything about him. Like I knew what he looked like. That's it.
Yeah.
But
and that they made him a meme.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
I didn't really know much going in, other than that there was possibly different paths with different gameplay, but I didn't know specifics. Very quickly I kind of figured it out. But other than that, yeah, nothing was spoiled. Like I said at the beginning, I had no. I thought I had it figured out until I started playing. I'm like, nah, this game just completely is taking different turns left and right every step of the way. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just here for the ride.
Fair point. I would be remiss, and I know, Steph, you're going to be with me on this one, if we didn't talk about how killer that soundtrack is.
So good.
It's phenomenal.
So good. It is
from
absolutely
start to
phenomenal.
finish.
Oh man. There were so many times where I would catch myself just jamming while streaming. It's so good. It pulls at your heartstrings at times. That last fight with Azrael, like it's so intense. It's probably my favorite video game soundtrack. And it's so extensive, which is also really nice. It's crazy how good it is. And it makes the game, it's such a big part of the enjoyment of the game, I would say, is that soundtrack.
Yeah. Especially like you were saying, that last one, when the music kind of swells and then the orchestra comes in and you feel like, I could do anything.
Oh my gosh, yes. It is amazing. Oh my gosh.
I got one quick little fun question for you guys. I need to know, did you guys finish the dog shrine?
No. So there's a lot of side stuff like that that I missed out on, and so I did not finish the dog shrine.
Now you got something else to do. You got a ton of little. So you know that dog that shows up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like every blue moon, the little white dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it keeps driving you crazy.
Yeah, the same one. So he has a little shrine, right? I think it's near or in Papyrus's and Sand's house.
Okay.
And you can go in there and you can give a little offering. And you can keep doing that over and over and over. And all it does in the end is just give you trophies. You spend thousands and thousands of dollars on this shrine, and at the end, all it does is pop a trophy, and it's such a good gag.
Okay.
It's so
Oh
good. I
my
love it.
goodness.
You know what? I'm remembering it now. The reason I think I did not do it is I know about it because I read about it, but it's a console thing. You can only do it on PlayStation and Vita, I think. I think that's all.
Oh,
No,
interesting.
I did it on 4.
On what?
I did it on PS4.
That's
So
what I'm
maybe it's a PlayStation only.
Yeah, he said
that's
PlayStation,
yeah,
yeah.
PlayStation 4, yeah,
Oh.
PlayStation 4 and Vita. So I mean, it might be on Switch as well or Xbox. I don't know, but
Okay. I played it on Xbox. I don't know that I saw it. I don't know.
Interesting.
But there
Yeah, I
is a
knew
lot
that-
of that,
I know.
like you said, Garrett, stuff I just didn't do side quest
Yeah.
wise.
Yeah, I know.
'Cause-
Because I was reading somewhere there's content that's only available on PlayStation. There's another piece of content that's only available on Switch, and then so each console kind of has like specific things that you can only do on some of those. I don't know about Xbox what they have, but yeah, there are. I think that was one of those that was. I know for sure on the PlayStation platforms. I don't know if it was on anything else. So yeah, I do remember.
See,
reading
I didn't
about it.
know that. I thought everything was always available in everything, and that the new stuff just gets added in the next version.
In the perfect world.
I didn't know they were console exclusive.
Yeah.
Now I may have to go back and play that Xbox.
Play
one.
it on all consoles.
See what's new in there.
Yeah.
You have piqued my interest, good sir.
Let me see. I actually have the wiki on IGN. Let me see. Like so. Okay, yeah. So on PlayStation, yeah, it looks like Dog Shrine is only on PlayStation 4 and Vita, and you pop a trophy.
Wow.
There is a
Okay.
Dog Shrine on. There is a Dog Shrine in Switch, but it's different. It's a different version of the Dog Shrine, so it has something.
And there's
added
a
to
magical fight, a magical girl fight on the Switch one.
and I think it's connected possibly to the Dog Shrine. So yes.
What's on Xbox?
Nothing.
According to IGN Wiki, it doesn't have anything. So screw
Man,
Xbox.
you got the shaft, Steph.
I did. I didn't get any bells and
PC
whistles.
too. PC didn't get anything.
That's
you know,
true.
You got it first. That's what you got.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, no, what I got the immersiveness of like the game shutting itself down. I tell you what, that it
That's
does it a
true.
few times. It'll just like poof, like shut down or like reset.
Yeah.
Things flash or like the screen resizes. I'm like, what is happening right now?
On Xbox, the way it happens is it just keeps having you re-sign into your account. So the screen goes black, and then the little bar comes out, and it's like, select your profile. And it just does that over and over.
That's
So,
pretty
yeah.
good.
That's awesome.
I love that it's different every time. I don't want us to get a little long in the tooth. I think we're doing pretty good, right? As far as time goes.
Yeah. I think we maybe have hit about 30 minutes or so now. I just had one question. If you don't have any more,
Go for it. I gotta grab something as soon as you do this.
I want to know what everyone's favorite like enemy monster is. Like the monsters in the world that you come up against.
Oh.
What was your favorite? I know I should have like prepped you guys for this maybe, but
I know. There's so many.
There's a
of them.
Rolodex of them.
yeah, there's a lot of them. I'll start with mine to give you guys a second, and I don't know, maybe I'll step in some toes and steal it. But my favorite was probably Nabstablook, the ghost.
That was going to be mine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was afraid of. I was like, I feel like I'm going to steal someone's, but it's a melancholic, the super just sad ghost that's just so depressed, and you go in there and cheer him up and make him happy again and become his
I like
friend.
when you just lay with him.
Yeah.
And that's just like the
And you
best.
space out.
Yeah, the second that second encounter,
my
and you're just laying on his
gosh.
bedroom floor, just vibing to some music. I
Oh,
honestly
man.
left it on that screen for a long time. Probably about 30 minutes of my gameplay time was probably just that. To be honest, it's like,
Yep.
Yeah.
Just go there and
Wow,
lay
this is
down
so
and just.
great.
You
I gotta
do
get some
that
work done. I'm just gonna
sometimes.
leave
Like,
this
I
on.
feel that. Yeah. Just vibe. Hang out.
yeah.
I think my overall, I'd say it's definitely in my top 3 was the date with Papyrus.
Mm.
I think that was a great fight,
That
especially when he
is-
comes
yeah.
back out in that cool dude shirt.
Yes.
Uh,
So good.
I was
Good
rolling.
fight.
I was rolling.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Steph, what you
Steph,
think?
you got
Oh,
a
I
different
mean-
one, or did I steal yours? I'm sorry.
You stole my favorite, like, I guess. Yeah, you stole mine. But
I can-
Papyrus
I
is my
mean, from
favorite
your stream, it looked like
character.
Mettaton really got you going.
I wouldn't say he was my favorite. I had a really hard time with Mettaton, which was interesting. That was probably the most difficult battle for me, just getting the audience cheer up. But I think it was a thing where I just had to end the stream and come back to it fresh because I had been going for a while. Because next stream I started out with that fight and I went through it pretty quickly. And I think that because I wasn't good at dodging, I just needed to select different actions. And so then I was fine. But the Papyrus one is fantastic. Papyrus is probably my favorite character, and just trying to date him, like that whole little story there of Papyrus thinking that I'm just madly in love with him is probably my favorite part of the game.
I love how in the credits he finally gets his red car. He has that car bed in his room, and at the end he's speeding down the highway in his little red, like
everything's all colored.
So good. I love it.
I just want the best for him.
Well, if I stole your monster, you can have the ghosty there. My other favorite monsters were also all of them amalgamates, like those guys. They're so creepy and gross and weird and stuff. And then like I don't know, just once you find out like what they are too, like they're monsters that were filled with determination that just like kind of destroyed them. Like, it was like too much in this experience. It's really sad, but at the same time, like there are some really cool, creepy looking monster things that you got to fight there in the lab. So yeah, those are also some neat ones I liked.
They're creepy. They're different for sure.
Especially compared to everything else. Everything else is so like goofy and silly or a joke or like, like the stupid dog that kept like the lesser dog and greater dog and stuff like that. And then like, then you get in that lab, you're like, oh, these are gross. Like, this is weird. This is creepy.
Yeah.
Oh, some great picks, y'all. I appreciate that. I was supposed to get this because I had a little bit I wanted to do at the end. Give me just a second. I got to go back and get it. This one is for you, Steph. Hold on.
Oh boy.
Hold on. I'm going to get
I'm excited for this.
Excited, yeah. I have no idea what he has planned here. He didn't prep me on any of this, so this is all a surprise.
This is a surprise to you too.
Let's see what he has for you.
The suspense.
I'm coming.
This is yelling. Coming! I'm almost there. I wonder. Oh, here it is.
Oh
my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, look at that.
Oh, you know what time it is. You know what this is, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, baby.
It. Oh my goodness. Where did you get this?
It's the thing you almost didn't take.
I didn't want to steal anything. I was like, is it bad to take something? It's not mine.
Oh, it's a nice little, you remember the locket, don't you, Garrett?
Yeah.
At the very end.
Yeah.
So, it's also a music box. And guess what song it plays?
Oh man, are we gonna start crying here? Is that what's gonna about?
No. We're this is the outro, baby. I was just getting ready to. I was gonna wind it up and have it play as we get out of here. That's how we do it around here.
It's the freaking Undertale song. It's the one, guys. It's the one.
That's right. That's right.
Oh man.
Well, I appreciate y'all coming to hang out with your boy, Steph. Thank you so much for coming and being our first guest. Where can the good people find you?
Oh, you can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/StephBabies, or twitch.tv/normcore_gaming, where I play games with my husband.
Sweet.
Thank you guys.
Sweet. Big Boss?
You can find me over at Twitter and Instagram at gmorlang, and over at Twitch at twitch.tv/thesupergamerboys. So go watch me and Adrian and JJ do a show, and once in a while I stream playing random games on there. You never know. You never know what you'll catch me doing. Maybe open Pokemon cards, all sorts of fun stuff.
And you can find me pretty much everywhere at Homeboy. You see my mug around enough. You probably know how it's spelled by now. But most of all, thank you, the good patrons, for allowing me to be able to do something as cool as this. I believe that's all the time that we got. Oh, is it still playing? Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure. This is going to be so good in the audio version, dude. Discord might not be picking it up, but it's perfect. Perfect. All right. Well, I think that's all the time we got. Let's go ahead and get on out of here. Thank you guys so much, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.
Bye-bye.